So you had said something at the beginning. You said you're a person that wants to be loved the same way you love. How has that been going? What you pour out, do you feel that you receive that back? Okay, break it down for me.
I do not.
Okay.
So when it comes to romantic relationships, 0 stars.
Okay.
I would even say, so I'm like a part of like this social group, right?
Okay.
Here in Nashville. And someone posted in the group page, like, and it was actually directed towards men. And it was just like, has a woman ever did anything special for you or made Valentine's Day special for you before? And if so, comment. If not, comment. And so, and I saw a few women in there commenting basically like, this is actually kind of sad that a lot of guys don't experience like a Valentine's Day towards them.
Yeah.
And so there's like, it's always made about the woman, and so I commented and said, I have always made sure that Valentine's Day was special for him, but it has never been made special for me.
Really? And when you say never, you mean never?
Never.
Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to HerStory Hour podcast, and we are so excited that you have joined us today. And we have an amazing guest with us. I cannot wait for you guys to hear the special jewel that we have in Nashville, Tennessee. But first, I want to let you guys know, of course, if you haven't already, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel and make yourself comfortable, make yourself at home. Like, comment, share, do whatever you need to do for you to feel connected and for you to feel a part of this channel. So, we are going to welcome our special guest today. Her name is Zacarra, Heath. And I'm so, she is so beautiful, number one.
Oh, thank you.
She's so sweet. And she is one of Nashville's finest. I'm going to say that. I'm going to say, can I say that?
Yeah, you can.
Okay. And we're going to live by that. She is one of Nashville's finest. Okay.
Yeah.
And, so how are you today?
I'm good.
That's good.
I'm good.
Okay.
I'm here.
You're here. And we made it. We made it. We made it.
And I made it.
Yeah. A little late, but no, but it's okay. No, it was perfect timing. So thank you for being here with me today.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
I always wanted to do something like this.
And here we are.
Here we are.
Here we are. You said yes to the call.
Yeah.
But so who are you, Zacarra? Tell me about you. Tell the world about you, who you are, how old are you, what do you do? We want to know.
This is such a loaded question. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, my name is Zacarra Heath. I go by Zacarra. Some people call me Z. Some people call me ZZ. Zacarra.
Okay.
They make fun of my name.
That's different. That's
Coco. They call me a lot of things, but I'm really just Zacarra.
Okay.
Born and raised. I'm a Chicago girl. I'm a Chicagoan, true to the heart. West Side all day.
Okay.
Born and raised there. I am really just a person, a woman who genuinely wants to be loved the same way that I give out or greater. I'm hilarious. I'm funny. I'm resilient. I could be a mystery.
Okay.
There's a lot of, I'm like an onion. There's a lot of layers to me.
Why do you think that is?
I think part of it has to do with just like how shy I actually am. People really don't think I'm really shy. Okay. The core of me.
I believe you because I'm the same way.
Yeah.
I feel like the natural piece of me, y'all may not believe it either, but the natural side is very shy. I was very shy too as a little girl. Very shy. But I had to fake it till. Yeah.
And eventually, I'm not as shy as I used to be.
Yeah.
even coming here, like I was super shy, like, you know, but now as I'm am older, you know, I'm more outgoing. I still have those moments where I'm shy, even meeting new people. But yeah, you know, it's just a lot of, I guess I don't really show every part of me, or if almost like if you don't ask me about a certain thing, then you probably just not gonna know. Unless something prompts me to like say something that then there's new information released out. But I guess I'm an open book. Don't get me wrong. Like if you ask me, I'll say it. Or if I feel led to say, I'll say it. But if it ain't really, like if we ain't really talking about that, if we ain't really like, you probably just won't know. So then now, like, you know, people just know me to just sing or just sing, you know, to just sing or whatever. But a lot of people don't know, like, I was a dancer. I
didn't know that.
You know, I was a choreographer, you know, at my church doing praise dances and I've done a lot.
I did not know that. So you had said something at the beginning. You said you're a person that wants to be loved the same way you love. How has that been going? I guess when it comes to friendships, when it comes to relationships, what you pour out, do you feel that you receive that back? Okay, break it down for me.
I do not.
Okay. I hate that.
0 stars.
Okay.
When it comes to relationships, romantic relationships.
Okay, I want to know.
So when it comes to romantic relationships, 0 stars.
Okay.
I would even say, so I'm like a part of like the social group, right?
Okay.
Here in Nashville. And someone posted in the group page, like, and it was actually directed towards men. And it was just like, has a woman ever did anything special for you or made Valentine's Day special for you before? And if so, comment. If not, comment. And so, and I saw a few women in there commenting basically like, this is actually kind of sad that a lot of guys don't experience like a Valentine's Day towards them. And so there's like, it's always made about the woman, you know? And so I commented and said, I have always made sure that Valentine's Day was special for him, but it has never been made special for me.
Really? And when you say never, you mean never?
Never.
Okay.
Never.
So
I really don't even know what Valentine's Day feels like.
Really?
Because towards me, because
you never got that?
Never got it. And that's just an example of not getting the love back that I dish out. That's just an example. And I just realized this earlier this week.
Really? Well, I'm sorry, because you deserve all the love.
You don't have to be sorry. And I do.
You do. No,
I do deserve it.
I'm sorry because the men know better. Number one.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Men should know better not to make a woman feel special every time.
Yeah.
You know, especially when you do your part, making that person feel special, it should be reciprocated, period, point blank, you know? So are you in a relationship now?
I am not.
Okay.
I wish I was.
Okay.
But no, I'm not.
Okay.
My last relationship, we broke up 3 years ago.
Okay.
Or like 3.5 years ago.
Okay.
We broke up 3.5 years ago.
And you haven't been in a relationship since then?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
No, it took me about 14 months to heal from that relationship.
And if you don't mind me asking, when you say heal, what was impacted in or compacted in that relationship to where you have to now heal from that? And do you think that that relationship has allowed you to be single since 3 years ago? Or what do you think caused the gap of just being single? And there's nothing wrong with being single. I'll say that too.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with being single at all.
Do you think that relationship impacted this?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Probably more yes than no, but I would say yes and no. So I had to heal because what happened in that relationship, he was with me out of survival.
Okay.
Yeah, he was with me out of survival. So, but what's weird about that is he chased me
Okay.
for like a year. And then finally I saw him at a mutual like birthday dinner at the Golden Corral.
Oh.
And
Wait,
after I left, after I left, he hit me up like, "Was that you? Hey, Golden Corral." And I was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Yeah, but why were you with my best friend? Like, how y'all know each other? You know?"
Yeah.
That's why I found out like, "Oh, I go to such and such church. You go there." So I'm like, "Well, yeah, he goes there," and it just started from there.
And it was good at first.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah, it was good. He made it known that he wanted me, but I ain't really want him like that. You know, I didn't see him in that way. And I think also just I wasn't initially physically attracted to him in that way. But then like start hanging out, like me, my male best friend and him, like we all start hanging out and stuff, and he would flirt and he would do all the things. But I would brush it off. And then then my best friend moved back to Chicago, and then me and him got closer, started hanging out more and stuff. And then I was just like, okay, he ain't that bad, you know?
So when did the switch happen?
The switch happened when a line was crossed.
Okay.
That was a little bit more than friends.
Okay. Okay.
I'll be honest.
Yeah.
And say a line was crossed.
Okay.
And so, but even before the line was crossed, I was starting to feel some things. Like, I think I kind of like you, you know? I already knew he liked me.
Yeah.
But also saw how he moved. See, this is my first mistake.
Okay.
I already knew how he moved with other women because he was not afraid to talk to me, because we did grow closer as friends. Right. And so we started to like, okay, like you my best friend, you know? Yeah. We could talk to each other about anything. So he would tell me about the women he would dealing with, how he was treating them, what he would say. And I would like get on to him like, no.
Right.
You know, like now some women were a little much, a little crazy. But for him, I'm just like, no, like you don't. And I'm a friend for real. So like, I don't care how close we are. If you're wrong, you're wrong. Right. If you're right, you're right. Right. And so I think he also appreciated that about me, but I should have known because I already saw how he treated women. But then we got closer as friends, got a little closer. It's like, okay, I think I like you. We actually started having those conversations, and then the line was crossed. Okay. And then it was just like, oh, okay. Yeah. But then he was still dealing with other women. Okay. And so then I was starting to be like, okay, if you got feelings for me, then why you trying to still be over here or whatever? And then he would say, oh, I'm torn and blah, blah, blah. So I was like, well, you go figure that out. And then, you know, and then I started talking to other people. And I guess he told me that he started to pray concerning me. And he felt like he had got confirmation that like I was his wife, or I was supposed to be the one that he starts to pursue and like be with. I think to my remembrance, one of the things that he said was like, well, you know, like, God, this is who she is. This is where she comes from. I like her, this, that, and the third. Like, give me a sign that I'm supposed to be with her. And because I'm from Chicago, he said like, maybe like 3 days after that prayer, all he saw was like Illinois license plates. And at the time I was like, what? Like Illinois license plates. But he said like, but then he noticed like every Illinois license plate, like that second, like half of numbers, it always started with a letter Z. And so he felt like... Did he take
a picture of the license plates?
Did he take a picture of the license plates? I don't know. I do not.
I need
listen,
proof,
I
sir.
don't know.
Give me the proof. I need proof that you have been seeing these things because I don't need you coming to me.
Right? Like
me,
what?
What?
But then he said like, then God starts to like show him my face, like in his dreams and stuff, and so he felt like that was his sign and his confirmation, like that's who he's supposed to be with. And then he did eventually ask me to, you know, be his girlfriend.
Okay.
I accepted.
Okay.
We were actually at my house when he officially asked me.
Okay.
He was crying and stuff.
Oh.
But I guess because he said that he felt like a peace that he like
that he's never felt before.
That he never felt before. And I took that seriously at the time. So
you feel like you were manipulated? Yeah. Okay.
Definitely. But then like everything was cool like that first month. Like he like was posting me nonstop, all the things. But then 30 days later, to the exact day, like exactly 30 days later, I just happened to be at his house. He was asleep. I was on his like computer trying to like do like a test for an upcoming job I was trying to get. And his notifications like from Facebook was coming, you know, going off. And I was trying to click the X so that the notification would go away because I was doing a test, but it actually opened the messages. And so boom, there's this message and I started reading. Okay, I started reading and I said, okay, now me, I wanted to do a lot of things that probably would have got me in jail. But all I did was just stand up. I started gathering my things. And I think at the time it was like maybe 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. And I just woke him up and said, hey, I'm out. And he's like, well, why are you leaving this early? Like, it's late. No, like, you need to stay. Like, I'm not going to have you drive this late at night. And I said, well, I don't think you really concerned about that, about my safety. I said, I'm good. I said, also, you got some messages? And I left him up. Like, got some messages. Here, go ahead, check that out. And so he looked and then he's like, well, don't leave. He's like chasing me out the door. And I was like, back up. I said, let me go. Like, I'm out. I didn't talk to him for about 2 weeks straight. He blew me up. I mean, blew me up. Did not care. Of course,
it's because he got caught. That's why
that's the only reason. And then after those 2 weeks, I decided to have a conversation with him. He asked me to come over. He had, you know, my favorite combination of flowers. He had roses and sunflowers and a card and cooked me dinner and all that stuff. And like talked and I was just like, okay, cool. But just, I don't think he physically cheated. He was always emotionally cheating on me. Which to me is even worse than before. I mean, then like to physically do something. Because my thing is with emotional cheating, you have to think about that.
You do.
You have to think about that first. And then you slowly but surely start to act on it. You know, it starts here. And that's really biblical too. That's why, like, if you think it, you already committed adultery. Because, like, So it was really bad. He ended up losing a job, which, well, he got his car stolen from his house somehow. Like, woke up, car wasn't there no more. And that affected his livelihood, which caused him to not be able to work. And it was just a trickle effect down. My thing is, I can't watch you struggle and say, I love you. So I was like, hey, if you can't find nowhere to go, come over here where I'm at. And I had a roommate. But I didn't believe, I just couldn't have him like out there and we're together, you know? So he came and started staying with me, but then it got worse. I did a lot of sacrifices. I think at the time I really wasn't working, but I was working Uber like full time. So in order to get him back up and going, like I had emptied my savings to take care of his bills and my bills. I was sharing my car with him. Then eventually I ended up getting another car that I really, really wanted. And so it was a brand new car. It only had like 5 miles on it. 5 miles.
Wow.
Brand new car. But I still had this car, but I know he needed a car. So I said, as long as you keep up the payments, you can.
And that's your heart.
You can, like get this car as long as you keep up with the payments and don't mess up my credit. You can have this car, I'll drive mine. And he did for a little bit, barely kept up with the payments, but hey. But then he was still like emotionally cheating, hitting up, sliding in other women's DMs, talking to them. And what's crazy is when I would read the messages, the women would be like, don't you got a girlfriend? What about like that dark skinned girl that you be, that's like all over your page? Like, she's beautiful. She's just like, what's going on? He would just lie and say like, well, she don't know how to save money. And I'm like, I don't know how to save money. But I had $6,000 saved.
Oh my God.
That's now at $3,000 because I'm paying your bills and my bills.
Oh my goodness.
And I don't know how to save no money.
Oh,
and the little money that you is getting, that you are getting.
Yeah.
That's why you got it, because you ain't spending it.
Right.
You know, like what? But then we really start to intertwine our lives. Just even saying this story out loud, I'm like, in my head now, I'm starting to think, how naive was I?
But you know what? The thing is, there's a lot of women that go through that, but it's the manipulation part. It's like you don't get it until the very last minute. Like, oh, even when people tell you, now, Z, what you doing? Do you see this happening? Like, for some reason, I don't know what it is, but for some reason, some things just don't click the moment of.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is. Because I've dealt with it too before in the past. Yeah. Thank God that I don't have to deal with that no more.
Yeah.
But I do notice a lot of women deal with that.
Yeah.
And it's like, so how do you, so now being out of it, did you realize the red flags, but you just ignored it? Or you saw the red flags after things ended?
That's a good question.
Do you think you just really wanted to love him and you wanted to be loved for the red flags to kind of fade? Yeah.
Yeah. I can say that. I really loved him, and I really thought I was going to marry this man. I mean, we talked about it, intertwined our lives. He was, I didn't find out till after we broke up the first time.
Okay.
That he was planning to propose to me. My 2 best friends told me, why they were shocked that when I told them we broke up, they was like, when did y'all break up? And I was like, a week ago. And he was like, no way, because we talked to him 2 days ago and we've been planning your surprise proposal.
My goodness.
So it's like he showed us the ring that he got you, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's a whole thing. He's like, weren't you supposed to go home for your dad's surgery? And I was just like, yeah, he's supposed to come with me. She's like, right. When you guys went or supposed to go, he was going to talk to your parents and ask for your hand. And then he was going to propose to you on this day. Like, because I was turning 30 that year. So this was 2021.
So was that his thought process with a lot of stuff? Like, yeah, we going through this, but I'm still going to such and such.
I don't know. Like now, like, I don't know what he's thinking. But this is when I saw the red flag, I guess. Obviously, the emotional cheating.
Yeah.
You know, I was trying to get through it. But the official, like, red flag to me was when... Now, I like to say a thing called, like, truthfully joked. Or truthfully joking. So, like, we saying in the truth in a joking manner. You know what I'm saying? So... we already knew that we were not each other's like typical physical type.
Okay.
He's used to women that are shorter, light skinned, light brown eyes, natural long pretty hair. Okay. I'm used to guys at least 6'2", at least 6'2". I'm not, they don't have to be big or like stocky or whatever, but just height wise, I am picky.
Okay.
Cause I'm tall.
Yeah.
So I'm 5'9", flat foot. So I be wanting
with heels.
Yeah, with heel. I want you to be taller than me in my heels.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So we was never each other's like initial type, but I put my preferences aside because I saw something in him.
Okay.
I thought he did the same, but clearly he did not. So his preference was still in the forefront while mine took a back seat.
Yeah.
And so one day he said to me, like, excuse me, he says, like, sometimes I struggle to be attracted to you. I struggle to be attracted to you. And yeah, like, and at first I said, well, nigga, you ain't like, nigga,
why you there?
Nigga, I said, nigga, you know, I'm chocolate, baby.
Yeah.
You know you met my parents. You met my parents. They both chocolate.
Yeah.
And I was like, but they both fine. That's what they made me. Okay.
But my thing is, didn't he come after you?
You chased me. You know, so you already knew what I look like. You know what I'm saying? And you know I was tall. So I was like, honey, get with it or go home.
Yeah, yeah.
And that was that. And I was like, well, you ain't 6'2". You right at 6. And slick, that's still too short for me.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I'm looking kind of out of you, and sometimes I'm like, okay, you are a little taller. But I was like, boy, you better get with it or go home. And I left it at that.
Yeah, yeah.
But then like the next week he became more vocal.
Oh.
It was like he's being more vocal about it. And then that's when I started thinking like, now hold on. What you with me for then?
Right.
If you're not physically attracted to me, what you with me for?
Right.
And then, so that's when I started to like, kind of like raise the eyebrow, cock my head to the side, like,
yeah.
And I really thought I was going to marry him. We broke up for a little while again.
Okay.
Took some time, got back together, and our pastor was like, I want to talk to y'all. And so we did a little Zoom call, a FaceTime call meeting, and my pastor said, well, you know, Z, how you feeling? Like, I told my pastor how I was feeling and what's going on. And then he asked my ex and said, okay, so what's your thing? He asked him, he said, why do you want to be with Zacarra? And I remember him saying like, you know I messed up and I haven't been treating her right, blah, 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 but I've been fasting and I've been praying and I've been really like repenting to God. And he's like, I know that this is my wife and blah, 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 blah.
Girl.
And our pastor said, he said, okay. He said, so, and he said his name. He said, son, I'm going to say this very respectfully, but I'm going to also talk to you man to man. He said, that is a whole bunch of BS. He said the actual word.
Oh.
But he said, that's a whole bunch of BS. And he was like, because he said, it's May. But when I talked to you in March, man to man, one-on-one, you said everything the opposite of what you're saying about her now. In March, you was saying this about her, this about her, this about her, this about her. Now, 2 months later, now you're saying, oh, I know this is my wife, blah, blah, blah. He was like, what's the truth is what you said in March. And he was just like, you don't want her and she don't deserve that. And he's like, the level of caliber of Zacarra is like, he's like, honestly, you can't handle her. And he's like, you trying to act like it's her because he's like, that's that manipulation, that narcissism that, you know, that's in you. And he was calling it out. And I was just sitting there just like,
But how did that make you feel as far as just even being in that position of being with him? Do you think it was like more of like an awakening thing? Like, what am I doing?
I think at the time, it could have been that. It was more just processing. Okay. Some stuff I gotta sit and process and kind of, I gotta process some things. Yeah. And so I was just so like, wow. Yeah. Taking it all in. Yeah. It was making me just question, like, is this really my husband?
So is it the same thing, like even with friendships, as far as how you show love to your friends.
Yeah, like I'm a friend. When I say I'm your friend for real.
Yeah.
I love to help. I love to be there. I love to have fun. I love to give advice, get advice, talk things out. I would say, if you were to ask any of my friends, like for real, for like the ones who know me for real, I'm the one, like the voice of reasoning.
Okay.
Like I'm the one that's like, you sure you want to do that?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm more of that friend. Like, if we can't figure it out, like if I can't do it, I'm gonna find somebody else that can.
Right.
I'm that person.
Yeah, I love that.
Always, like, I'm very empathetic. Sometimes I feel like it's a blessing and a curse.
Yeah.
Because I get tired of my heart being as big as it is, because I feel like I keep getting the short end of the stick, but then also I feel like maybe that could be just, I need to build stronger boundaries and stick to them.
Stick to the boundaries. That's definitely a necessity for people with big hearts. It's a necessity. You have to build the boundaries. You just have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because I think I've realized, even when it comes to romantic relationships, if I don't really dig you like that, or I wouldn't even say really dig you like that, but if I'm still getting to know you and you do something and I tell you, you know, like, I don't like this, blah, 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 and then you still like do it, like, it's no problem kicking you to the curb.
Yeah.
But if I really like you, have feelings for you, I'm in love with you, I can't be truthful and say it's hard for me to walk away and stick to those boundaries. And that's probably why I got the issues that I currently have with a certain individual, because I'm so, I'll say it, because I am so in love with this person that I should have chucked up the deuces a long time ago those days. But I have, but then I haven't been sticking to those.
So what makes
boundaries.
it hard for you to let go?
I think in my current situation, because of the dreams that I had about this person, that I really do believe that God gave me these dreams, because the way the dreams were concerning this person was so vivid. And I know people are like, well, it's just a dream, it don't mean nothing. But spiritually, I am a prophetic dreamer. So
do you think the dreams meant to be with that person, to stay with that person? Or does it have like a deeper meaning to those dreams?
I would say the first one that you said, like, this was who I'm supposed to be with, like, for the rest of my life. However, now, because of my reality and what has been happening, it has made me question and doubt my own spiritual gift of dreams. Because I'm just like, okay, well, I really thought, like, God, like, this is what you shown me. And so I'm just like, so why is it not matching my reality? Or not even matching my reality, because the dreams, well, one of the dreams was me actually marrying this person, like the full ceremony. It's so even now, I can tell you like that, because that's how vivid it was. However, why isn't my current situation leading up to this in a positive way? And so it's just been making me just like doubt everything. And I just really just been praying, like, God, you got to show me. And so going back to my last relationship, after we officially broke up July 4th, 2021.
Okay.
And I mean, I was devastated, heartbroken. I think I lost like 30 pounds in a month and a half because I was that heartbroken. I was not eating. I was not doing any of that. And I remember one time I had a dream that I was sitting at a desk with 2 computer monitors, right? And on the left computer monitor was a dream about that I had got earlier that year in January about being with this person. And then the right computer monitor was my reality, right? And then in the dream, I heard God say to me, as I'm looking at these 2, was like, does the left monitor match the right monitor? And I literally said no in the dream. And then God said, well, then let him go. And God said, he's not ready for you. And when I woke up, I said, okay. And I let him go. That was hard because after we broke up, his treatment towards me got worse, like 10 times worse than what he was already doing in the relationship. He was like trying to like torture me. In a sense, like he would find out if I was out with friends, he would find out where I'm at and then pop up and then purposely do things to like get me upset, purposely sit near me, stand near me. Like he was really doing some stuff. And then here go my Karen heart when he fell on hard times. I had to sleep in his car and it's below 0 outside.
Wow.
You know, here I am, come to my house. You know, supposed to stay for a day.
So why do you feel this happens? Do you think... So why do you feel that happens as far as with like the relationships? Is it your heart that's leading those kind of men to you?
Yeah. I think also just dealing with unhealed trauma as like childhood. Because after that relationship, God had to take me back to my childhood, like really heal the little girl in me. So little Zacarra was bullied, made fun of her skin tone, height, weight, always called the ugly one. But because I developed at a very early age, I mean, these came in at 7.
Okay.
So I had the body parts. So at a young age, the boys like this didn't like this. But they liked my friend or my childhood best friend she was light skinned, had pretty long, curly, sandy brown hair. But all the boys only liked her. But they never liked me, but they liked me for this though.
Yeah.
And so that, I was never on the playground. If we were playing teams or something, playing basketball, I was like a girly tomboy. So I played double dutch and played basketball with the boys. And if I wanted to go play basketball with the boys, I was always the last one to be chosen.
Girl, okay. Me and Nick were watching this TV show called Mr. Beast. And have you heard of that? Okay.
Yeah.
So we watched, this was actually a couple of days ago, and we were sitting there watching it, and it brought me back to my childhood too. They were picking teams, so they chose a captain, and the captain had to pick who they want on the team. And while he was doing that, like I immediately got like a flashback, because when I was younger, in gym and all of that, we used to play kickball and I was always either the second to last one or the last one, because I was bigger. I wasn't that pretty either. And I just was not the pick, the choice at all. And that affected me too. Like, bro, why am I always the last one? I promise you I can run.
Yeah.
I
got speed.
It might be just a little slower, but I promise you I can get y'all there.
Right.
If you can just trust me.
So not being chosen was a thing. And God had to really take me back to my childhood.
Yeah.
Even to the point where, why I'm so hard on men. And I never really could understand, because like my thing is, if you say you're gonna do something and you don't do it, I don't let you forget it. And not necessarily like I just won't let it go. I mean, eventually I'll let it go, but like probably for a little bit, I'm not gonna let you like forget that. And so I remember I was taking a shower one day, and it was like I had an open vision in the shower of back to my childhood. So my parents with my dad. Love my dad. I told you I am a daddy's girl to the core. My dad has always been there. But my parents divorced when I was 4.
Okay.
And so, and at this point, I think my mama had just got remarried. My mom remarried when I was like 6 going on 7. And so, my dad kept telling me he's going to go take me to the, Chicago, we say the show, right? The movies.
Okay.
So my dad said he's going to take me to the show. And so, I was waiting for him all day. My dad, long story short, my dad never came. But then he called like at night and was like, I'm so sorry, da 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 da. I'm going to take you tomorrow.
So that has even been with you till this day.
But honestly, I forgot about that until God gave me that vision. Like I'm taking a shower. I'm not even thinking about it. And it just like, it's almost like it just played before my eyes. And I was like, my dad said, I'm going to take you tomorrow. And I was like, okay. Tomorrow came, the same thing happened. Okay, I'm going to take you tomorrow. I said, okay.
Crazy?
And the next came. That was the day 3. Didn't show up till finally I was crying. And so my mama called and was like, you're not going to keep doing this to her. Like, you know, and then eventually my stepfather went and took me. And I was grateful for that, but it just wasn't the same because I wanted my daddy to take me. And then God said, this is why you're so hard on men. When they don't do what they said they're going to do, because it reminds you of your dad. But mind you, I never thought about it like that. Like, and I wasn't even thinking about that moment. Like, that's so far. Like, I was like, what, 6, 7? You know, I'm not even thinking about that. But the fact that God brought that to my remembrance and said, this is why. This is why. You can't, when men say they're going to do something, you're so hard on them and it hurts you to your core because your dad did it.
Wow.
And so, and you look at your dad like the best guy on earth. And so, but also God told me like, but you gotta heal that.
And this is why therapy is important too. Even, the thing is, even if you feel like you've had the best childhood life, you've had, you know, there are still little things. That you don't realize. That
has a huge impact.
A huge impact on how you are as an adult. And that's why, even for God to even bring that back to your forefront to tell you, hey, let's dig into this. Let's try to heal.
And that was hard. Because I'm just like, okay, well then I don't think my dad's a bad person. You know, like I'm very fortunate that my dad still was in my life after divorce. You know what I'm saying? Like, I look at my dad as the best guy on earth. And so I remember talking to my mom about it. And my mama said, and I was like, well, should I talk to my dad about it? 'Cause I was like, because I don't want my dad to convey this or get in his mind that like I'm calling him a bad dad. That's not what I want him to get from this. And she was like, well, then what do you want him to get from? Do you want an apology? Do you want to, you know, I was like, well, I don't think I necessarily want an apology. I just think he needs to know, like, you know, just having like a father-daughter moment, daughter moment. And so she was like, well, I don't really think you should bring it up. I mean, and so I was like, well, okay, I won't. But then eventually, I think like about 3 months later, I said, no, I need to talk to my dad about this.
Sometimes if you are led to do something and you feel it in your heart that this is what you need to do, sometimes that's the breakthrough you need. You know? Like, and it's okay. And my thing is, you have to live in honesty. Look, this hurt me. And I want you to know that. You know, and the thing is, you can't expect to get an apology for it. You can't expect the best outcome with those kind of hard conversations. But it's just the simple fact that you allowed yourself to be released from, you know? So I'm glad that you did that.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people can't do that.
Yeah. I talked to my dad about it. And when I finally did, and he said, oh, I didn't, he doesn't even really remember that. But the fact that I remember that, that meant a lot to him. Yeah. And so he did apologize. Like, I wasn't looking for an apology. Right. I just wanted him to know, like, yeah, like that kind of affected me and how I operate with the opposite sex in romantic relationships. And so, you know, he encouraged me, he apologized and was just like, but also they ain't doing what they say they do. That mean they a punk. You know, you just like, let these, you know, like, let them go. Like, they ain't doing what they say they gonna do. They ain't no man, you know? Yeah. And he said in his own little words, but like that stuff affects me. And so, like, what I've been through as a kid, that what you go through as a child does affect you in your in your adulthood if you don't address it. And so the fact that God had to take me back to little Zacarra, 7-year-old Zacarra, the Zacarra who was getting bullied, Zacarra who was being made fun of, you know, all that played a part. So when my ex kept telling me that he struggled to be attracted to me and I was too dark and I was too tall. And so I told him, I remember telling him, I said, do you know how long it took for me to not just love what I see in the mirror, but to actually like what I see in the mirror? I feel like to like yourself is so much harder than to love yourself. For some reason, you really have to like it. Yeah. Like you can love everybody, but you don't like everybody.
And that comes in relationships and marriages and all of that. You have to like to get to the love.
You have to like them. So even going to my current situation, that has even, that has even affected me tremendously.
Like how? Like, has it affected you worse than the other ones? Or?
Honestly, yeah.
Wow.
If I had a top 3 probably most hurtful relationships, this is probably it would have been, I would say this would be number 2 because number 1 was I went through an abusive relationship. So if I didn't have that abusive relationship at number 1, this would have been number 1. It just, the whole thing reminds me of not being chosen yet again. Like, yet again, here we go. Here go another dude pretending like he liked me, pretending that he loves me, pretending that he wanted me and only me. And you went and chose somebody else, and not just somebody else, but somebody that I was friends with. Trying to ask God to help me forgive a lot of people. Because I'm not a person who's like, it doesn't really take me a long time to forgive people. But with that particular person, with like the situationship type of thing, and recent friendships that have dissolved or had to abruptly be cut because of betrayal, I'm just like, I don't know how to forgive these people. Because with one person, they continue to do the same thing over and over again. And it's like, I know what the Lord says, I know the Bible tells us to forgive 70 times 7. But I said, God, I ain't you. So you gonna have to help me. How do I forgive a person who continues to do the same thing and genuinely forgive them? Even if they was to do it again, how do I, at this point, genuinely, confidently, peacefully forgive this person? And then I know I gotta forgive them, because if I want to be forgiven by God, I have to forgive. But I'm just like, I don't want to get to heaven and God like, remember that person?
Yeah.
Why you ain't forgetting?
Yeah.
Why didn't you forgive them?
Yeah.
So I want to forgive him.
Mm-hmm.
I genuinely do.
Yeah.
I have to.
Yeah.
For my sanity, for my peace. I gotta forgive him.
And I believe it will happen. It will happen. I'm gonna do that same thing as far as forgiving. Forgiving, I feel, takes time. It takes time, and it also takes always forgiving. Like whenever it pops back in your mind, forgive, and then you got to get all that bitterness out of your heart. You do, and you really have to just look to God every single time.
Yeah.
It's only going to take God for the forgiveness to truly happen. So I'm believing the best in you, girl. I'm believing so much for you. I'm believing so much healthy things coming your way. So many healthy things are going to come your way. Healthy friendships, healthy relationships, healthy everything, healthy successes, everything.
And I'm excited.
Yeah.
I do believe, I know I said like I was starting to, just because of what has been happening, what I have experienced, but I do believe I will, deep down in my heart, I do believe that I will get there, even when it comes to music, even when it comes to music, my music career.
Yeah.
I really do believe like greater is coming.
It is.
It's just sometimes it just don't feel like it.
It is. I know. Trust me, I know. I know. But it's gonna happen for you.
Yeah.
Stay consistent in it. Do all the things you can only do,
Yeah.
And my thing is always just keep God in the middle of it all.
Yeah.
And watch him take you where you need to go. But this has been amazing.
Yeah.
This has been amazing. Zacarra, she's also a beast singer. She's all of the things. So follow her on Facebook.
Yes, follow me on Facebook. It's my original name, Zacarra Heath. On Facebook. Instagram is Zacarra Sings, like one big word.
And do you have TikTok?
I do have TikTok.
Do you use it?
Yeah.
Okay. And TikTok.
I need to update it.
Okay.
Need to put some stuff on there, some more recent stuff on there. My TikTok is, I'm gonna get back to you on that TikTok.
She's gonna tell me her TikTok tag
because I can't. Honestly speaking, I can't remember if it's under my nickname, which is Coco. I think it's under Coco Z.
Okay.
But if it's not under that, then it will probably be under Zacarra Shanae.
Oh, okay.
Because Shanae is my middle name.
Well, she gonna get that to me, and I'm gonna give it to y'all. But she's amazing. I think she's on YouTube too. I'm sure you have a plethora.
There's some videos on YouTube, more of the gospel stuff than like the R&B soul stuff that I've been doing lately. But I'm working on getting that stuff up there too, because people ask, and I'm gonna get some original music out this year. It's time, y'all. I know y'all been asking. It's just it costs this to get in that studio, a whole lot. And I'm gonna admit I don't currently have it at the moment, but I will. So I'm excited. Yeah, it's time. It's time.
Well, y'all, thank you so much. And thank you, Zacarra.
Thank you
for being here with me and allowing us to just talk. This is another side of you that people just don't hear, So I really do thank you for being here with me.
Thank y'all for listening. And thank you for even, like I told you before, like for you to reach out to me and say, hey, I would love for you to be a part of this. Like, come do this is a dream. Because I told you, like, just a few weeks before you hit me up, I made a post and said, I have a lot to say. I would love to either start my own, like, little podcast, or I want to go on someone's podcast.
Wow.
And then, like, just like a few weeks later, you hit me up. And I said, that's why it was such an easy yes. I was so excited. That's why I was like, I got to find that status. I was like, I got to find it because send it to her. And I was like, so thank you. I was like, oh God, you really do hear me.
Yes.
So
yes.
I
this
love
platform
this.
is for people like you. It just is.
And I appreciate that. And it's so relaxing things.
Oh, good.
We love that.
Yeah,
so,
she had her hot Cheetos, her apple
listen,
juice.
I love to play my hot. Okay. It's right here. And apple juice. My keys to my heart. Okay.
Yes.
And chicken wing.
Okay. We didn't have that today. But we thank y'all so much. We love y'all. Please join our community, subscribe, comment,
come
share.
follow her.
Follow y'all. Instagram,
please.
TikTok, and Facebook. Again, we love y'all so much. And again, until next time, we'll see y'all soon.
See y'all. Peace.